social media is filled with good takes. He's not wrong. Wait, why are people disagreeing with him? And also some bad takes.
No, yeah. These are awful. They're not good at all.
Once a month, I'm gonna go over the most controversial posts on Yu-Gi-Oh subreddit and find out just what it is people are getting so mad about. Planning on buying some real-life Master Duel cards? Head on over to tier0games.com or kongscards.co.uk and use my promo code FARFA5 for 5% off of your next order. Leaking players' lists is just wrong. Yeah, you know what? I'm not gonna touch this one. In your opinion, what is the most toxic card in Yu-Gi-Oh that is not a floodgate? Ooh, this is juicy. I feel like Nightmare Unicorn is a very good suggestion for a toxic card that isn't a floodgate. Let's see what people think. In before Maxi, well, Maxi is a floodgate. I'd say Fenrir, but yeah, the Kashtira engine in general. I promise you this isn't me on my account. Fenrir was also going to say Fenrir over Unicorn. Come on, Fenrir isn't toxic. He's just annoying. Although you could argue just every Kashtira monster is badly designed. Crooked Cook, if you're not playing many outs, makes duels so boring. Look, I understand if you combine the Buzzsaw Shark, right-hand shark, whatever it is, into a Cook, it's pretty annoying. But come on, this is like actual just like gold gaming. If you're really struggling with it, just pierce it or link it off with Goddess. Goddess fixed a lot of issues with some of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Boss Monster card designs, so mwah. There is Halkazoldi Beatrice enablers, Junk Speeder for an archetype-specific toxic enabler. Then there are payoffs like Gumblar, Herald, and Ultimateness. Amongst cards, I would say Apple, but frankly, she might as well be a floodgate. Apolloza is an extra deck skill drain. Do not at me. Droll, Shifter, Maxi fall into the floods for me, so I won't list those. I feel like there's a big difference between the definitions here, so maybe it's like important to lay out a groundwork baseline definition of what toxic is and what powerful is. So toxic is something that just sort of ends the game indirectly by itself, something that takes away a lot of interaction without really doing too much work in the process. Like Apolloza, probably kind of like a really powerful card, but toxic, maybe not like sort of the way I would label and define it. Beatrice could be easily defined as a toxic card because it enables so much garbage. D-Shifter, very good example, right? Like just a hand trap that just auto wins the game by itself if you don't have an out. Miscellaneous Saurus. I come rarely across it, but every time I do, I'm reminded how bullshit this card is. God help you if you're playing against Dynamorphia and they have it. Dynamorphia? Bro, like, Misk is not the problem in Dynamorphia. Solemn Judgment is pretty toxic too. Solemn Judgment? Come on, dude. In a best-of-one format, you're complaining about Solemn Judgment? All counter traps are bullshit based. Oh man, this guy needs to put reboots into his deck, dude. Super Poly is another shout. I think Super Poly is a fair assessment, but I actually really like Super Poly because generally my rule of thumb is if it's really broken going second, then it's fine. Because going second cards being broken, I think is good for the game. Every card that can't be responded to makes me roll my eyes. There's almost no counterplay and these effects single-handedly win you the duel. Yeah, these are a good way to describe that, but I don't know, how can you have such a bad and good take at the same time? It's like me whenever I open my mouth and then I suddenly bring up Block Dragon or Shockmaster. The good thing about most counter traps is it requires it to be set before activating, and the only ones that can be activated from the hand are Reboot, Blackwing, and Tachyon. Wait, you can use Tachyon from the hand? In like a very niche scenario, I suppose? Yo mama a ojama. Who is gonna take your argument seriously? Reboot would be such a toxic card if traps were played more often. -3? Dude, really? I feel like that's not a bad take. Reboot is absurd. Reboot just turns off every good trap deck. Reboot literally says if you're playing a trap deck, you have to hard draw Judgment or you're dying that turn. Like, that's like a defensible point here. Come on. Shifter prevents most decks from wanting to play. It's a 2-turn Necro Valley on quick effect monster. Shifter is not Necro Valley. Okay, kind of, but not. Okay, anyway. Maxi and Call by the Grave. Those cards are really bad for the game in general. Ooh, Called by. Now, here's my cook. Called by the Grave makes going first so powerful. Going second is already weak. When you flip Called by the Grave going first into a hand trap and you've just opened full combo Inu Bell or Snake Eye, you probably are winning that game. And on top of that, worst case scenario, Called by's dead, you didn't call by a Maxi, set the Called by the Grave. Most competitive Yu-Gi-Oh decks have some sort of graveyard play. So, you're probably gonna hit something clutch. I think Call by the Grave is a very toxic card, and I think should be banned, even in the context of Maxi. Like, please, like, someone try and argue and defend Called by going first. Like, in which universe is Call by a fair card when you're going first? Seems like a healthy counter against grave effects. I'd not say healthy by any means. There should not be counters against hand traps. Right now, we need some because of how broken some are, like Maxi and Shifter. Yeah, that's kind of the point, right? Call by is sort of a band-aid for these absurd broken cards like Maxi and Shifter. The point of hand traps is to stop your opponent from making a broken board, but still let them make some kind of protection. When Call by is in the game going first, becomes more powerful, and most decks that can run Call by are meta decks that already have a lot of space for the hand traps. And it's not healthy against grave decks because it lasts 2 turns. Right now, the game is fast and some battles can end within 2 or 3 turns. By one interaction that doesn't need any preparation you use to take out an important effect for 2 whole turns is not great. Jack, waifu lover, you're a bit of a weird boy with that title, but he's spitting. He's spitting. He's spitting. Zaborg the Megamon. Or Albazoa. Half of your extra deck is now gone. Have fun. Woo! That's a take, dude. Of all of the cards to complain about the power level of in Yu-Gi-Oh! Zaborg the Mega Monarch. Oh my god. Alright, next thread. How is this card banned and Maxi legal? Card of safe return. He's not wrong. Wait, why are people disagreeing with him? Not saying Maxi should remain legal, but I think this card is banned because you can utilize the cards you draw during your turn. Basically, at least Maxi is turn-based and can be ashed to stop the effect. Sure, if you can ash this card, but it would only stop the first activation, not the second or third. No matter how busted Maxi is, at the very least, it still relies on the opponent. This does not. Okay, you know what? Maybe they're right. The reason being a combination of all these. It works when you summon from grave, not just your opponent. It's a continuous spell, so it's indefinite until destroyed. It's not once per turn. No cost to activate or maintenance. It works on your turn, being one of the best hand refreshes available. Card of safe return also draws Maxi, smile. There's no way you read this and thought it's comparable. I mean, he's right. The only thing these cards have in common is that they draw. Bro, have you seen half the decks in the game? OP, you aren't really reading this card and asking this question, are you? Do you play the game or just like to watch DK? This card turns zombies, Cloudians, and a few other decks into Exodia FTKs. Bro, shut up. Like, shut up. I promise you that is not why Card of Safe Return is banned, okay? It's not to gatekeep Cloudians. Me using that card, then activating Kick Coloss. Nice gif. Fun fact, this card is nerfed. Its effect in the anime was better. Ooh. If a monster on the field, regardless of friend or foe, actual Among Us PSET, by the way, is successfully regenerated. Man, this is how I'm going to play Tier Limit from now on. Kick Coloss effect, regenerate Tier Cash. The owner of Card of Safe Return can draw 3 cards from their deck. Excuse me? So it's a draw 3 for any player? That's a fun little piece of trivia. TCG meme for the bingo. Why is it controversial? My body is a machine that turns thousands of dollars and hours into a single Nintendo Switch. This is, like, the good memes on our Mastodon don't get upvoted. Like, unless you put, like, a SpongeBob here, no one's gonna upvote it. It's so sad. And they just ban it already. Although knowing Mastodon, they'll simply put it to 1, given many are trying Jessie's list with 2. Realistically, she needs to be gone or at least errated. I'm all for if it's banned somewhere else, it probably should have been banned here too. I know she's an aberration, but I rarely see her on my rank. Which rank is she ruining right now? All of them. I hope they ban this adorable piece of shit. Spoiler, I have 3 copies of her. I actually agree with this one, even though it's integral to my tier Lightsworn pile. Snow has to go. Dude, there's been so many best decks. A lot of them just don't play Snow. Let the mill players have some fun, okay? If you like this kind of playstyle so much, get the fuck out of Yu-Gi-Oh! Far off into the tower defense game mode is where you should fuck off. Tower defense? I mean, I was thinking of like, I thought this was gonna be a Pearly Noir rant or something. He's complaining about Kashtira. Kashtira without Diablosis? Brother, if you're letting your opponent 10 zone lock you in Kashtira, but, oh, look, he cropped out what turn it is, by the way. Did you notice? Look at that. He's cropped out what turn it is. This is a DK'd moderated sub, sir. We're instead sending people to Fortnite. Zone locking is a perfectly acceptable playstyle as long as you're using Ojamas. My man said if you like playing Yu-Gi-Oh! To prevent your opponent from playing Yu-Gi-Oh! The game, to go somewhere else. Homie, you just described Yu-Gi-Oh! The goal of Yu-Gi-Oh! Is to play as little Yu-Gi-Oh! As possible. True. I watched the new Alien Romulus movie, and I'm convinced Kashtira is supposed to represent an alien invasion. Not just the artwork, but the playstyle too. Bro thought he was, like, onto something. That is, like, literally the lore. I think Fountain back to do is safe to do. Okay, Josh. I love Runic. With how easy it is to make SP once it's Spanish, I have to jump over so many hoops to get it back, and most of the time I can't even get it back immediately. It's not like we're running any floodgates in the deck unless playing Runic Stun, but that should be a hit to the floodgates itself. Okay, Josh. If it wasn't such a floodgate abusing engine, they need to thin floodgates even more. This and Morganite comboed is a draw 5 for floodgates. It's also a draw 5 for Exodia. What, are you going to complain about Exodia? Just ban skill drain, Pachycephalos, Tikaboo, Gozen, Summon Limit. Nobody wants to see these cards anymore, and it solves every problem there is about Runic. Do you not think, like, the Runic argument is so similar to Halka Fibrax? Like, what if we were to argue that Halka Fibrax is fine, just ban all of the tuners? Verte Anaconda is fine, just ban all the fusion. Now, obviously, that's a very funny argument, but it's clearly not true, because all of the tuners are not really on the same level of toxicity as a Floodgate, is it, right? Like, you can't really compare Steam the Cloak to There Can Be Only One. You know what I'm saying? OP is right. Okay, Josh 2. I would love Fountain to 2. I feel like we're in a meta where Fountain to 2 isn't busted or broken. Okay, Josh 3. This Duelist Cup sucks. I play against an FTK and made the grave mistake of my opponent drawing call-by for my Ash. Playing against Stun in the next game, then have some not totally bullshit duels, 1 or 2, I guess. And finally, I get turn skipped by Raid Raptor. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Look, I understand it's okay to, like, be upset about your losses and L's, but we cannot be out here complaining about birds. This was all in a single quick succession of games. Duelist Cups were never this toxic as far as I know. That's a really low bar. The first Duelist Cup I played in, the meta was summoning double Pearly Noir or Pearly Noir with a F0 negate. I can promise you that that was way less fun than going into Yubel Snake Eye Duelist Cup. You people say that every Duelist Cup. It comes down to a bad streak. I've had so many bad experiences with Horus Yubel, I've made 2 Ogre part of my hand trap lineup. That's all it is, and that's how the game's designed. I went 1-7 over a stretch and then won the next 9 in a row. It comes and goes in waves. Yeah, that's best of 1. What's wild is I'm playing pure Snake Eye, and I haven't seen a single other person playing Snake Eye. A lot of Stun, Voiceless, way too many tier piles in Horus Centurion, but no Snake Eye. Tier is really popular right now. Number 1, it's fun. Number 2, it's fun. Number 3, Gamba. Not gonna lie, that can just be a bad day. Have you had a bad day? Because I have a solution for you if you've had a bad day. Oh, I have a thing that I can present to you if you've had a bad day. If Master Duel has a duel trial so it's not competitive where you must include exactly 1 copy of a forbidden card, which is your personal my boy waifu card, would you take it out for a spin? Masterpiece would be really funny. That was the first one I looked at. Dude, you can't pick things like random one-offs that you're never gonna draw. Like Soul Charge, Defusion, Painful Choice. Mystic Mind could be workable. Because you can play Metaverse, you can play Card of Demise. Not Card of Demise, Demise of the Land. So that you could actually play a, what's it called deck? Merly, true, yeah, the 4th fusion. The 3rd fusion, rather. Please kill Floodgates. Oh, wow, look at that. Why is it that whenever something bad happens, it's always this deck? Why is that? Anytime something bad is going on, it's always this deck. He literally has the out. He does, doesn't he? Auradon effect, tribute itself, pop skill drain, and then go from there. Hugin? Okay, battle phase, max C, attack Hugin. Main phase 2, effect, tribute for costs, pop skill drain. Skill drain stops the Hugin. Oh, wait, hang on. You don't even need to go battle phase. This sub needs moderation. Time to farm downvotes and yes, complaining about complainers. Ever since the Farfa meme review, this sub became even more of a shithole than it was before. No, it was always a shithole. It's actually slightly better than it used to be. It's not because Farfa himself or the memes made by his community. The issue is that no one shuts the fuck up about memes related to Farfa in the comments of those memes. Well, then don't read them. Brother, it's the internet. Scroll down. I have a mouse wheel here. Look, watch this. Look, scroll. People online are just incapable of understanding. You don't need to look at the thing that upsets you. People watch some of my videos sometimes and they complain that they didn't like the video. Why did you watch the video? Why did you watch my content? Oh my god.